Hi, I'm Ray Williams of openimage.com.au. I thought I'd do a magazine cover project today, which, as you can see, I've got Time magazine up there with Barack Obama on it, but I thought I'd do something very similar to this for those of you who are doing this kind of work or want to have a little play with their images. So first and foremost, I'm going to go off and create a new one. So File New. And I'm going to use A4 as that's typical magazine size. So it's international paper A4. I'm going to call it Mag. Okay, there we go. There's a start. Now, I'm going to actually build this in what we call 4 different sets. In each set, you may have one layer or you may have several. But first and foremost, this is set 1, which is the background, and it has only just one layer. So you haven't got to worry about anything else, just one layer on this one. Now, if I duplicate this background, right, it gives me something which is exactly the same. So this is a Command J will duplicate it, or of course you could come down here and duplicate it, but Command J is the easiest thing to use, or Control J, of course. Okay, so now we've got background. We've got a copy of the background, and the next thing I want to do is now get a color for a border on this copy. Hence the reason why this becomes, I suppose, set 3. I know there's no set 2 yet, but it will be. So first and foremost, I use my marquee tool, which is over here, marquee square, or rectangular marquee rather, and then click on it and drag. I'm going to make a little border, as you can see from the marching ants going around. There's the border. Now I want this side of the border to be in red. If you remember that, there you go. So I'm now going to select inverse, so it's only looking at this end, and then going to choose a red. Now it doesn't matter which red for the moment. You'll get the idea. You can choose which one of whatever red you want. But let's use a red, use a bucket tool, and there we go. There's our red in place already. So we're on our way. That works good. Now, go select, deselect to get rid of the marching ants. Actual fact, let me just reselect it, sorry. And what we're going to do is take out the middle. So I'm going to inverse again. Now it's just looking at the piece in the middle, the white bit. Ask it to delete. And you may not see anything, but it's happened. So I've deleted it. And if you look over here at the layer panel, you can see that there's a checker piece in between, in the middle here. And that means that this bit is deleted. Now I'll deselect. All right, so we're well on our way. This is still set 2. We're on our way. In fact, I'm going to put it in a group and call it set 2. So that's Control or Command G. And I'm going to call this set 3 rather, sorry, set 3. There we go. So this is going to be set 1, if I can get that done. Now set 1 is still the bottom one, but the one up from that is going to be set 3. And you'll understand as we go along why I've called it set 3. Right, so the next thing to do is bring in the logo, right? The piece that goes on the top that says Time, or Time magazine, of course. I've been into Google already, so if you go to Google Images, you can normally find logos for almost every magazine there is. So I'm going to actually go up to File, Place. This opens up a folder which has got a few things in here already, and that's the one I'm after, which is the Time logo. If I say Place, it will automatically go to the edges. I don't want it so far across, so I'm going to hold down Shift, go to the corners and drag in. There we go. Happy with that. So I can now move it while it's still in the selection mode. I can now move this into place. Shall I make it a little bit smaller? There's no reason for it to be so big. There we go. All right. So I'm happy with that. There, about there. And again, you can play around with this where you want yours. When you're finished, come up here and just approve it. Right, so I'm happy with that bit. So at the moment, that's sitting on its own. I'm going to drag it so it's inside of set 3. So that's how you know you're in set 3 or not. Got it? All right. So other things to add in here is a barcode, maybe. A barcode, is quite typical for most magazines. I don't know if the Time has got one. I should assume it has. Oh, it's on the back, isn't it? Yes, it's on the back. But I'm going to put a barcode here, a little bit different, yeah. And again, I'm going to add that barcode into set 3. So again, I'm going to go back up and go File, Place, grab hold of a barcode, which again, I've gone into Google Images and just typed in barcode, and up it comes. I'm going to put that in bottom right-hand corner. I'm going to size it down a little bit. It's a bit too big. And again, if I'm happy with that size, which I am, I'm going to come up and approve it. And there you go. So we're well on our way. And again, that barcode is going to sit inside of set 3. So I just dragged it in. Click on it, drag down until you see the line. So that's all done now. Set 3 looks really, really lovely. I like that. At this point, set 3 is done. You can, of course, come in and add other things later on. But the reason why I have a set 3 is because this is going to be a constant. So if I was going to do lots of Time magazines, all of them would look like this in the set 3 area. And then all you got to do now is get the picture and bring the picture in afterwards. Now, this is how you bring a picture in. If you click on the background, which is the bottom, so this is effectively the set 1. Click on the background so you make sure that the background's highlighted. And then you go up and go File, Place. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go looking for an image. Sure, I've got one in here somewhere. Let's just go see. Go to Island, that's cool. I'm just going to find something which will fit in there. It doesn't really matter what it is for the moment. Let's go with that one. This is a raw image, so it's going to bring up the raw converter. But don't need to do anything with it. I just leave it at that and just say open. So what it's going to do now is open the image. Now look what's happened. It's actually opened it underneath the set 3, and that's the reason why we have the sets, right? So first and foremost, I'm going to size it before I approve it, and I'm going to put it like that. Go to the anchors on holding down Shift and just drag it, and there you have it. So it doesn't matter if it goes over the page or not. What you're trying to do is create something to go into that white area. So I'm happy with that. That works well. That's all I really want in there. And now I can come up and approve it, which is by clicking on the tick up here and looking much, much like a magazine cover should. Now, if that works for you, then all you now need to do is what I have called, so this is now what is now going to be set 2. So Command or Control G, and that puts a group in, and I'm going to ask it to go set 2. Right, so we've got background, set 2, set 3, and last and not least is the very top one. So what I'm going to do is add at the top just an empty layer. So there's an empty layer sitting over the top, and now what you want to do is use set 4 for all of your labeling or any of the titles you want to put in. So for instance, I'm going to put in a black title. So let's see if I can get going on that. So, okay, and come in here, hit the text tool. So I'm on text tool here, and on here I'm going to put in something like RAY. Why can I see it? Because it's sitting on the top. Should still see it. Oh, it's, yeah, there you go. AMS has gone mad. Now, if I'm happy enough with that, press. Now, I know you can't hardly see it, so maybe I should put it in white. Let's double click on here and put it in white, and there we go. So that may make the title, or of course you could do it all capitals. You can work out how you want it. You could have it bigger, smaller, different colors, and so on. Yeah. And so now this is sitting on the top layer. And then the only other things I would put on the top layer is things like if it's some sort of titling on the top to say when the actual edition is. So for this one, I'm going to put August In fact, let's do it in capitals. 2016. If I'm happy with that, just move it down into position. Probably a bit too big. Click on that. And then I'm going to come over to size and size it down a bit. That's better. Here we go. And so, typical sort of thing you would do. And of course, you may have a price on here. You may have all sorts of bits and pieces that you may want to add on to make yours look really, really cool. All right. So we've gone from looking something like that. Of course, I've got other pictures you can add in and all the other bits and pieces. But more importantly, you can make sure you've got your border, you've got your titling, or you've got your logo, and you can slide your picture in to make it look great. Hope this makes a lot of sense to you. Hope this works for you. See you on the next one.